Hey there. Welcome to the Inspired Business Goals Through Data workshop. This is a hands-on workshop to get you to start using your Google Analytics data in a more organic and intuitive way. I really believe if I can get my intuition on board, as well as some good hard facts of data, the better goals I make and the more likely I am to reach those goals. Today's workshop is super hands-on. I'm going to be walking you through some stuff. And the idea is that you can take this information and really apply it to your own business. I'd love to hear about what your goals are right now, if you have some. And if you don't, if you're still kind of looking at that, that's okay. It can feel like you're behind if you don't have your goals yet. And I totally don't believe that. I feel like you can set goals any time of the year, all the time. So what are you going to learn in this workshop? You're going to learn how to find the right data for your goals. So a lot of people want to use Google Analytics, but they just don't know where to look and they don't know what to do with it. And so I'm going to give you some information today to take that first step. I'm going to talk about inspired goals, what that means to me and why I've been using it in my own business. And I'm also going to talk about how to take action from the goals. A lot of people look at data, but they don't know how to take action from the data and they don't know how to bring that in with their goals. Taking the time to reflect on where you're at with your goals and even seeing if they're relevant. The other reason I decided to do this workshop is I want people to go beyond what is called in the industry as a vanity metrics. So when I'm talking about vanity metrics, I'm talking about, isolated numbers like page views, like users, sessions, which could also be visits. And I'm not saying that we should never look at these metrics. I know a lot of us look at them, but if we're looking at those types of metrics and we're using that to judge success in our businesses, it's kind of a very 2D way of looking at data. And I just don't want people to get obsessed with page views, especially as an isolated number. You could have 100 page views or you could have 1,000,000 page views. What does that mean? Is that little? Is that a lot? But the first thing that needs to happen before talking about reporting is why am I looking at the data? My analogy for this is it's like if you go to your first date and you just expect the other person to talk and you're not really putting any effort into it. The same thing with Google Analytics. It's a conversation, it's a two-way conversation. You come to the tool with some questions and you get some answers and you interpret the data. That becomes part of your process. In order to navigate that as a small business owner, you need to be clear to why, for your business, why you're looking at the data. And that's what I'm trying to teach through my courses, through my one-on-one work, through everything I do. Let's get started in the workshop. So if you have a notebook, grab that. If you are more of a digital note-taking person, that's cool. I want you to think about one goal for this quarter or this month that you've been focusing on. For me, this quarter, I'm really focusing on getting retainer clients. So what that means are one-on-one clients that I can work with on their SEO, focusing on keyword and SEO strategy and growing their traffic and their opportunities, right? So it's not just about the traffic, it's about their clients and the opportunities they get through the traffic. Some other examples of goals you might have this quarter or this month might be to launch a new product. Maybe you are doing kind of market research and you're trying to understand your audience more. Whatever your goal is, I'd love to hear about it. Put it in the chat. What's your goal for this quarter? Okay, so now we have our goal. We're going to identify the reporting in Google Analytics that would help us with this. Google Analytics has a lot of different reports. I'm sure you know that, and that's one of the reasons you might be avoiding it. You don't need to look at all the reports in Google Analytics to be able to use the tool. It's about using a couple strategic reports that will support what you're trying to get information about. I'm going to give you a little structure based on what your goal is, what report you can look at. Okay, so if your goal is around marketing, so that means if you're looking to understand, what kind of marketing you need to be doing to reach your goal. So you're prepping for a launch or you're looking to attract new clients, or if you want to simplify your marketing right now, you just feel like you're all over the place, then the reporting area that you should be looking at in Google Analytics is called acquisition. So these are all the reports on the left side menu. So in acquisition, there's a report that's called all traffic, and that will tell you where all your traffic is coming from. And that can be the first step of understanding, okay, where am I getting my traffic from today? And what's working, what's not working, and what can I do to improve? The cool thing also about looking at your data in setting a goal is that you can then in the future compare and say, okay, in January 2018, I set this goal, in March 2018, where did I go? And you can actually compare in your own data based off the actions you took if there was any change. Okay, so if your goal is around content, so if you want to revamp your blog, if you want to write better blog posts that people seem to be interested in, or if you're developing a new product and you want to understand, what product pages on your site people seem to be really obsessed with, that's a content goal, as I call it. And in Google Analytics, that set of reporting is called behavior, again, on the left side menu. Content, all pages. And that will give you a breakdown of all your pages on your site and how often people loaded them. I don't recommend just using page views, but instead maybe use something like time spent on page. You can also look at bounce rate. If you're sending people specifically to that product page, you can see, how many people bounced off that page. These are some other metrics that you can use apart from page views to kind of get more information. And there you can just see in general, how popular is this? How interested are people in this product? And then finally, if you have a goal around your audience, maybe you're doing market research. I'm doing market research right now too. Again, you could be maybe understanding, what does my client like? Who is my client? Maybe you're feeling a little disconnect from there, and you just want to improve that ideal audience avatar that you have and understand, and just go through that exercise again. So in Google Analytics, for that type of reporting, it's under audience, again, on the left side menu. And there you have all sorts of data around demographics. You have interest data, so you can see other types of websites and other products that your audience who's going to your site today is searching and purchasing. You can also get data about, what language they speak and where they're coming in from. Now, not all of this might be interesting to all of you, but if you are doing general market research, it's just great to really open up the scope of what you already know to then, bring in some new information for you. All right, so that's the second step. The third step, before we analyze the data, so maybe you found the report that you want and you're like, now what? What do I do with this data? So there's a lot of different desired actions that could happen. And the idea with this step is to start to get your head in the right place of understanding, well, what do I want to do on the other end of the analysis of the data? Let's say you want to launch a new product. Some desired actions might be to go with one product type or theme, right? So you're launching a new product, but you have no idea, what your audience is wanting. But a desired action might be, okay, you're confident about this theme. It might be to change the site, to change the layout, or to make a sales page based off this new product. For your market research, if you're in a phase of trying to understand your market and your audience, a desired action is to write a super clear blog post about something that your market is fascinated by, that they want to hear. So all these desired actions are real things you can do in real life, and they will get connected with the data. Once you have your desired action, you're going to go back to your report and you're going to start to look at what the numbers are saying to you. Already knowing like what your goal is, your desired action, and where you need to look in the reporting is going to just be so much better than just going into Google Analytics and being like, tell me what to do. Open up the tool with some purpose, with some direction, and then go to the data and look at it, compare, contrast, look at like what you've been doing the last month, like what has changed? Has anything gone up? Has anything gone down? Be open to seeing, oh, thanks, Carolyn. Be open to seeing, what's feeling good for you. And thanks for the emojis. That's really going to help kind of build your data muscle, I'd say, instead of just randomly going in there when you're feeling fear or you're feeling like, oh no, what am I doing in my business? And then you go to your data. It's the worst thing you can do because you could interpret things so many different ways. But if you're going in with a specific purpose and you're doing this ongoing, it's going to become clearer and clearer to you how to use the data. Oh, well, this was so great. So thank you so much for watching. Talk soon. Bye.